Recently, a video of the Euphrates River drying up has been circulating the internet. Some say it's a prophecy that is meant to be fulfilled by 2040, and some say there is a strategic plan going on behind it. Is anything terrifying going to happen? Stay tuned on The Unexpected to find out why the Euphrates is getting dried. The Euphrates is Western Asia's longest river and is considered to be one of the rivers with the greatest historical significance. It is considered to be one of the two most important rivers in Mesopotamia, together with the Tigris. The Euphrates River began its journey in Turkey and then travels through Syria and Iraq before meeting up with the Tigris River at Shatt al-Arab, which eventually empties into the Persian Gulf. It originates 10 kilometers upstream from the town of Keban in southeastern Turkey, at the point where the Karasu, also known as the Western Euphrates, and the Muratsu, also known as the Eastern Euphrates, meet after traveling 450 and 650 kilometers respectively. According to Daoudi and Franken, the length of the Euphrates River is 3,000 kilometers long, starting from its origin at the Murat River and ending at its confluence with the Tigris River. Of this total distance, 1,230 kilometers are in Turkey, 710 kilometers are in Syria, and 1,060 kilometers are in Iraq. Isayev and Mikhailova both provide the same numerical information. According to a number of different accounts, the length of the Shatt al-Arab, which is the waterway that links the Euphrates and the Tigris to the Persian Gulf, ranges from 145 to 195 kilometers. Both the Karasu and the Muratsu begin their ascents in the northwest direction from Lake Van, beginning at respective altitudes of 3,290 meters and 3,520 meters above mean sea level. Because of the construction of the Keban Dam, the two rivers that are now known collectively as Euphrates have lowered their elevation to 693 meters above mean sea level. Over a span of little less than 600 kilometers, the river declines by an additional 368 meters between Keban and the border between Syria and Turkey. It is at this point that the Euphrates begins its substantial descent into the upper Mesopotamian plains. Within Syria, the river dips a total of 163 meters, although on the final stretch between Hat and the Shatt al-Arab, the river falls a total of only 55 meters. But why Euphrates River is drying up? The Hindia Barrage, located on the Iraqi side of the Euphrates River, was the first modern water diversion project to be constructed in the Tigris-Euphrates River system. It was finished in 1913 and was based on plans developed by the British civil engineer William Wilcox. The Hindia Barrage was succeeded in the 1950s by the Ramadi Barrage, as well as the nearby Abu Dibis Regulator, both of which served to regulate the flow regime of the Euphrates and to discharge excess floodwater into the depression that is now known as Lake Habaniya. Both of these structures serve the same purpose as the Hindia Barrage. The Haditha Dam, which is 9 kilometers long and 5.6 miles in length, is Iraq's largest dam on the Euphrates. It is an earth-filled dam that created Lake Kazidia. In the 1970s, both Syria and Turkey constructed their first dams on the Euphrates River. The Tabqa Dam in Syria was built in 1973, while the Keban Dam in Turkey, which was a precursor to the enormous southeastern Anatolia project, was finished in 1974. Since that time, Syria has constructed two other dams in the Euphrates, which are known as the Bath Dam and the Tishrin Dam. Additionally, Syria has plans to construct a fourth dam, known as the Halabiye Dam, between Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor. The Tabqa Dam is the largest dam in Syria, and the lake that it creates as a reservoir is an essential source of water for agriculture and human consumption. Lake Assad was supposed to irrigate a total area of 640,000 hectares, but as of 2000, only 100,000 to 124,000 hectares had actually been brought into production. Syria further constructed 3 smaller dams on the Kabur and its tributaries during this time period. Turkey's ambitious plan to harness the waters of the Tigris and the Euphrates for irrigation and hydroelectricity production, and to provide an economic stimulus to its southeastern provinces, was launched in the 1970s with the implementation of the Southeastern Anatolia Project, which was an ambitious plan to harness the waters of the Tigris and the Euphrates. A total area of 75,000 square kilometers and around 7 million people are impacted by GAP. This is nearly 10% of Turkey's total surface area and population, respectively. When it is finished, the GAP will include 22 dams, one of which is the Keban Dam, as well as 19 power plants. It will also offer irrigation water to 1.7 million hectares of agricultural land, which is equivalent to approximately 20% of the irrigable area in Turkey. The Euphrates Basin is home to approximately 910,000 hectares, or 3,500 square miles, of this land that is irrigated. The Ataturk Dam, which can be found approximately 55 kilometers to the northwest of Anlurfa, is by far the largest dam in Gap. The construction of this dam, which is 1,820 meters in length and 184 meters in height, was finished in 1992. As a result, Turkey now has a reservoir that is the third largest lake in the country. The reservoir, created by the Ataturk Dam, has a maximum capacity of 48.7 cubic kilometers, making it large enough to store the full yearly discharge of the Euphrates River. The completion of Gap was supposed to take place in 2010, but this goal has been pushed back because the World Bank has refused to provide funds for the project because Turkey and the downstream governments on the Euphrates and the Tigris do not have an official agreement on how water will be shared. In addition to the construction of barrages and dams, Iraq has also constructed an intricate network of canals that connect the Euphrates River with Lake Habaniya, Lake Tharthar, and the Abu Dibis Reservoir. Each of these bodies of water is capable of storing additional water in the event of a flood. The Euphrates and the Tigris are joined together at a point known as the Shat al-Hai. The main outfall drain, also referred to as the Third River, was constructed between 1953 and 1992 and is the longest and largest canal in this network. This canal is 351 miles long and 565 kilometers long, and its purpose is to drain the area between the Euphrates and the Tigris south of Baghdad in order to prevent the soil from becoming salinized as a result of irrigation. Additionally, it enables the navigation of big freight barges all the way to Baghdad. How the drying up of Euphrates is affecting the environment and people around? The development of dams and irrigation systems on the Euphrates has had a tremendous impact on both the natural environment and the social fabric of each of the countries that are riparian to the river. Dams that were built as part of the GAP project have had an impact on 382 communities, and approximately 200,000 people have been relocated as a result. These dams were built in the basins of both the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers. The construction of the Ataturk Dam was responsible for the relocation of the greatest number of people. This one project alone impacted 55,300 individuals. A poll of people who had been forced to relocate revealed that the vast majority of respondents were dissatisfied with their new living arrangements and felt that the financial assistance they had been given was insufficient. The flooding of Lake Assad caused approximately 400,000 households to be forcibly displaced, and they were resettled in other parts of northern Syria as part of a plan that has since been scrapped to construct an Arab belt along the borders with Turkey and Iraq. In addition to the adjustments made to the river's discharge pattern, the multiple dams and irrigation projects have also resulted in other negative consequences on the surrounding ecology. The construction of reservoirs with huge surface areas in regions that experience high average temperatures has resulted in higher evaporation, which has led to a reduction in the overall quantity of water that is accessible for use by humans. In Turkey, it is estimated that 2 cubic kilometers, or 0.48 cubic miles of water, evaporates annually from reservoirs, while in Syria and Iraq, those numbers are 1 cubic kilometer and 5 cubic kilometers respectively. Because irrigation water that is tapped in Turkey and Syria runs back into the Euphrates in Iraq, bringing with it dissolved chemicals from fertilizer that was used on the fields. This has resulted in the Euphrates' water quality is poor. As a result of the construction of dams further upstream, the water in the Euphrates in Iraq has become saltier, making it less suitable for consumption as drinking water. Both the ecologically delicate Mesopotamian marshes and the freshwater fish habitats in Iraq have been negatively impacted as a result of the proliferation of dams and irrigation schemes in Iraq, as well as the large-scale water withdrawals that have accompanied these developments. The flooding of huge portions of the Euphrates Valley, particularly in Turkey and Syria, has resulted in the submersion of a great number of archaeological sites, as well as other areas of significant cultural importance. Despite the fact that concerted efforts have been made to record or rescue as much of the endangered cultural heritage as possible, it is likely that many locations will never be found again. The joint GAP projects on the Turkish portion of the Euphrates have resulted in significant international efforts to document the archaeological and cultural heritage of the valley's most vulnerable areas. In particular, the flooding of Zugma with its one-of-a-kind Roman mosaics by the reservoir of the Birisik Dam, has aroused a lot of controversies in the Turkish press, as well as in the press from other countries. As a result of the construction of the Tabqa Dam in Syria, UNESCO initiated a huge international campaign to document the heritage that would otherwise be lost under the waters of Lake Assad. This campaign was organized by UNESCO. Archaeologists from a wide variety of nations worked together to unearth sites that dated from the Natufian to the Abbasid periods. Additionally, 2 minarets were disassembled and rebuilt in an area that was not affected by the flood. Mureybet, Imar, and Abu Huraira are 3 significant locations that have been impacted by the rising water level in Lake Assad and have been flooded as a result. A comparable attempt on a global scale was made during the construction of the Tishrin Dam, which resulted, among other things, in the flooding of the significant pre-pottery Neolithic B site of Jerf el Ahmar, in the region of Iraq that was ravaged by flooding caused by Lake Qadisiyah. An archaeological survey as well as rescue excavations were carried out. Because the lake had been drying up, parts of the flooded area have recently become accessible again. This has resulted not only in new opportunities for archaeologists to do more research, but also in opportunities for looting, which has been rampant in other parts of Iraq in the wake of the invasion of 2003. The Euphrates has always been very important to the people who lived along its path. With the building of big hydropower plants, irrigation systems, and pipelines that can move water over long distances, a lot more people now depend on the river for things like electricity and drinking water than they did in the past. So this was all about the video. And if you liked today's video, then do check out more videos like this on our channel. Also, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more updates. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.